Welcome to Part 6 of the MACD Indicator Series. We invite you to visit our website at strategictrading.net to get a complete copy of all 7 parts of the MACD series, or simply email us an email to support@strategictrading.net and request access to the series, and we'll forward to you a link so you can have a copy of the complete series. Please take a few moments to pause the video and read the disclaimer before you proceed with this brief lesson. This lesson today, Part 6, is going to talk about the settings for the MACD. Quite often, people never touch the default settings on an indicator, even though most indicators require some adjustments and some tweaking in order to be able to get the best results out of them. And certainly the MACD is not any different. The standard or default settings that you will find on most platforms are 12, 26, and 9. However, these are really rather slow at times and are not as responsive as some traders may want them to be, especially if you trade intraday and you trade on shorter time frames. Now, naturally, the settings are going to need to be adjusted from one instrument to the other, so it's never really about a one size that fits all, or here is the optimal setting that'll work in every condition and every situation. The idea that we want to present here in this brief presentation is that you need to re-examine the settings for your MACD, and you need to take a look at them and see which ones tend to be most representative for you in terms of the time frame that you trade and the market that you trade. Here we are looking at the ES Mini daily chart, and we have the standard settings, and now we are going to share with you some settings that we have found that tend to be slightly more responsive than the standard or default settings. So you will see here we now have 2 different MACDs on the chart at 2 different settings. The bottom one has a setting of 5, 14, and 3, and the top one has a setting of 12, 26, 9, which is really the default setting. Now let's take a look at the difference in terms of responsiveness and signals. Take a look here. At the faster settings, we are able to see the pivot much sooner than we are with the default or the standard settings. If you take a look, we didn't really get a chance to get a MACD signal with the default settings until this point. While both of them are valid and good signals, certainly the earlier entry did provide us with a little bit more profit in the trade. And if you go on and take a look at other different parts of the chart, you will find that the same thing does happen again. Here we have a pivot, and we got the signal up here, whereas the signal here was a little bit earlier. Naturally, the faster settings are going to be more noisy, a little bit more choppy, but they are also a little bit more responsive. Trading is always about judgment calls, judgment decisions, but it also involves tweaking and refining our tools. We invite you to visit us at strategictrading.net and learn more about the MACD in Part 7, the final part of the series.